Good morning, all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, good morning,
Good morning, ma'am.
good morning,
Morning.
good morning to all. Yeah. So, last class we have discussed about the ideal op-amp and its characteristic, right? So, today we are going to learn about the closed loop op-amp or non-ideal op-amp, okay? And different configuration of closed loop op-amp. Just a moment, guys. A little bit recap about the op-amp. So here you can see the operational amplifier symbol and only 5 pins are active pins from the 8 pins. Okay, so V in positive represents the positive input supply and V in negative represents the negative input supply, and here Vs and Vs minus represents the power supply for the operational amplifier, and V out represents the output voltage node of the operational amplifier. Here different pins are there which will take out this input voltage, and from where we can take out the output voltage. So input pins are 2, 3 and output pin is 6, where the power supply pin for the positive input it is 7, and for the negative not input power supply it is 7, and for the negative power supply it is 4. So here we can see the notation of that. Then the characteristic, or I can say the parameters of the ideal and non-ideal op-amp, or we can say typical op-amp. So here is the summary for that. Just have a look. So in short form, if I will see open loop gain, here in terms of gain it has been represented as G, but in my notation I had used this as A. So for ideal op-amp the open loop gain is infinite, but for the typical op-amp it is coming within the range of 10 to the 5 to 10 to the 9. Similarly, common mode gain is 0 for the ideal op-amp, while for the typical op-amp it is 10 to the minus 5. Bandwidth is infinite, but in typical op-amp it is 1 to 20 megahertz. Input impedance is infinite for the ideal op-amp, while for BJT type of op-amp, if we take the input impedance is 10 to the 6 ohm, while for FET type of op-amp the range is coming within 10 to the 9 to 10 to the 12 ohm. So for the case of output impedance, the ideal op-amp almost or always it poses 0 output impedance, but typically it is not 0. It shows some value within the range of 10 to 1000 ohm. Okay. So same thing it has been written in terms of the supply voltage is additionally given at here. So here we can find out just the case for supply voltage within the range of 0 to 30 volt, or I can say plus minus 15 volt, plus 15 for plus BCC, minus 15 for minus BCC. The range has been given. Okay, beyond the range, if we give the supply, the output voltage will become saturated because of the effect of the gain and the combination of gain and input voltage. It will become saturated. Okay, the operating voltage itself is 0 to 30 volt. So if you give the supply and output we will calculate, we can see practically how it is getting saturated. Okay. Yeah, then one more thing here I will represent, guys, for the ideal op-amp. As we seen, the current cannot pass through the op-amp because here we have a very high input resistance which is of the order of infinite or infinity it is present, so that we have to say that the I in towards the op-amp is 0. Suppose if I will level this term, Wait. I can draw in somewhere else and I'll tell you. Yeah, in this portion I will tell. Okay, just see. Yeah, I can do. Yeah. So what we are writing, this is B2 and this is B1 and this is B0, and here we have the power supplies are there, right? And here we have the drain resistance RD, and here we have the voltage difference is VD. Okay, this is nothing but VD equal to V1 minus V2, and here the open loop gain is AOL. Guys, whether you are writing or not, just keep your pen and paper ready. Okay, so for the open loop gain, what is the value of this AOL? Who will say? Just now I discussed
Infinity.
infinity. Good, very good. So what is the output voltage equation? It is gain into Vin. Here gain is in terms of AOL, and Vin is nothing but VD. Okay, difference in between two voltages, right? So here just take this thing. Okay, if I will write VD alone, what should be the equation for VD? V0 divided by
Gain.
gain.
AOL.
Yeah, gain AOL. AOL represents the open loop gain, right? So now this is infinite. So what is the value of VD?
0.
0.
So what is VD again? V1
V1.
minus
V2.
V2. So
V2.
that the same thing can be represented as, okay, it is 0, no? V1 minus V2 is 0. If the difference in between these two node is 0, so almost what we can write? V1 equal to V2. Okay, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
So here I want to represent one more concept. Okay, just give me 1 minute time. I have to open one new page, or I'll get some page, means here I will. Okay, so here itself I will just say virtual ground. Okay, concept. Yeah. Once again I'll come to my previous slide. Once again I will repeat the word. In this op-amp circuit, what we proved now? V1 equal to V2. Because I is 0, from that concept only we started that, right? I2 equal to 0, and here I1 is also 0. Okay, so from that we proved that V1 equal to V2. Then virtual ground. How I proved that V1 equal to V2 you got? Guys?
This was typical, right, ma'am?
Yes?
This was typical amplifier, right?
Yes,
Because you are saying,
typical.
okay.
Yes. For the ideal op-amp case only. Typical op-amp. Okay. So for all the cases, current towards the op-amp is 0 only. If you take closed loop also, open loop also, towards the op-amp it is 0. Okay. So VD is always V1 minus V2 only. And RD is infinite for the ideal op-amp, and for the real op-amp it is 2 mega ohm. I think so. Okay. Yeah, if you check the property. Then from that I proved that for the operational amplifier V1 equal to V2. Now if I will make this concept, just have a look at here. This is the voltage at V1. Okay. Then here it is V2. Wait. Actually, the eraser is not working at this point. Where is the eraser? Okay, anyway. So if V1 is grounded, what is the value at this V1? 0 volt. So what should be the value at V2?
0.
Yes, 0 volt. That's why we have to say this concept by virtual ground concept. If any kind of voltage is appearing at this voltage directly at V1, how much voltage without any presence of resistor at this node, directly what is the supply voltage at V1, that will appear for V2, because V1 equal to V2. Okay, suppose I will apply V in at V1. Okay, now V1 equal to V in. What is the V2?
V in.
Yeah. Being. Yeah. So we have to name this concept because virtually they are equal and one is connected to ground potential. Okay. Like this, no? RD. RD is connected through this. Through RD only we prove that V1 equal to V2 because VD is 0. Okay. So we have to name this concept as virtual ground concept V1 equal to V2. Okay. Because they are equal. So remember the name virtual ground concept. By virtual ground, V1 equal to V2. Which one you are naming for the positive terminal? You are naming. Suppose this is V1, then you have to term this V2. Suppose you are just interchanging the name V2 at here and here it is V1. No issue. Just that name you have to remember. This positive input voltage is equal to the voltage appear at the negative input terminal. This concept you have to remember. Okay. I'm not telling that always 0 concept is true for them. No. What is the voltage at V1 directly without the presence of any resistor terminal? V in is there, or suppose Vp you are telling the positive voltage, then also the same voltage will appear at the negative input terminal of the op-amp. That concept is always true whether it is open loop, closed loop, ideal, non-ideal. The same concept will be applicable throughout the op-amp. Okay. Now come to the point. In the ideal op-amp characteristic, once again I will come. See, finite open loop gain that causes gain error, finite input impedance, characteristic of non-ideal op-amp. Okay. So why do we proceed from ideal op-amp to non-ideal op-amp? Means in the ideal op-amp the gain is very high, and if we take that high gain, and now we saw that V not equal to gain into V in. So output voltage we cannot control if we take such a high gain parameter, and if we calculate the output voltage of any output voltage of operational amplifier, then it won't be within the control or limit, and we cannot deal with, or we cannot define or design such kind of circuit to come into use. That's what we have to do. We have to design a circuit which will control the gain, and so it will be useful for the amplification purpose. Okay, if we are controlling the gain, that is the main target of the non-ideal op-amp or the closed loop op-amp, which will give rise to a control gain, and so that we can control the output, and also other parameters will also be in the control. So some characteristics are there. So already we have seen the ideal op-amp characteristic. Now the non-ideal op-amp characteristic, it will offer the finite open loop gain that cause gain error, finite input impedance, non-zero output impedance, then finite CMRR means common mode rejection ratio. This will help you to define the particular input. Okay, it will cancel the noise signal or the false signal or the dummy signal available with the input. It will cancel out that. Okay, then common mode input resistance it will offer, then finite bandwidth it will offer, then finite power supply rejection ratio. So these are the characteristic of non-ideal op-amp. Then What are the different closed loop configurations are available? So here 3 different closed loop configurations are available. Just make a note of it, guys. What are the 3 different closed loop configurations of op-amps are available? Why do we go for the closed loop? You got the idea or not? To control the gain so that other parameters will be within the control only, and we will get a defined range of bandwidth. Okay. Then what are the 3 different configurations? This is always, almost, or what to say, very important topic for the closed loop op-amp configuration, and lab is also there for this. Okay, first one inverting, non-inverting, and the third one voltage follower configuration or unity gain op-amp. Then come to the point. Yeah, the characteristic, you just go through it through this. What are the things, as I told, we'll get it from here. Then here one more thing, we are using the negative feedback. What type of closed loop we are preferring? We are preferring the closed loop op-amp with the negative feedback, not with the positive feedback. And why do we go for the negative feedback? Any idea, guys? Why we are not going for positive feedback and we are going for negative feedback? Negative feedback means like this only. See, we have the op-amp symbol. Okay, in the feedback path, feedback means the output is connected to the input back. So here input is V1 and V2, any of the terminal. If we are connecting back, that is called as feedback path. And in the feedback path, we have to connect a feedback register, which is called as RF. And this is the configuration of closed loop op-amp. And as you can see, the feedback is not connected in the positive input terminal, it is connected in the negative input terminal, so that we have to call this as the negative feedback. Okay, always remember, guys, op-amp uses negative feedback. So what are the advantages of negative feedback? Here it is summarized. It reduces the gain and makes it controllable. It reduces the possibility of distortion, then increase the bandwidth and frequency range. Then what are the requirement for the ideal op-amp? Like input impedance should be high and output should be low. It will help to make those parameters to meet those ideal characteristic criteria nearly. Okay, then it reduces the effects of temperature and power supply on the gain of the circuit. These are the advantages of negative feedback. That's why we have to prefer the negative feedback in the op-amp. If we give positive feedback in the op-amp, what will happen? That also gradually we will see in your module 5th. Yeah, in module 5th we will realize that if we will use positive feedback, what will happen. Okay, up to this you got, guys?
The resistance?
What?
How does it increases the resistance?
Negative feedback.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Already the property is there, no? It offers infinite input resistance. If you give the same,
how it is different from positive feedback? Like
power switching back itself means?
Like what's the difference between positive feedback and negative feedback? How does it affect the input resistance, ma'am?
By default, we have infinite input resistance. Okay. The op-amp without connecting any feedback loop, it offers the high input resistance. Are you getting my point? By default.
Like I'm not understanding the difference between negative feedback and positive feedback. Maybe I'll know. I'll get to know later.
Then you just wait. For late people, I cannot help. You have to just listen. At the end, surely you will get, because in between I'm going to discuss that point also.
Okay.
So actually, last class I think you missed out. This RD value is there. This RD.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is called as differential input resistance, and it offers infinite input resistance. This value is infinite. Okay.
Yes,
by
ma'am.
default, this is by default value. I'm not telling or inserting anything. The manufacturers are making the op-amp to become like that.
All right.
Yeah. So if by default we have an input resistance infinite, what should be the current towards the op-amp? If any current will pass towards the circuit, what will happen? It will damage the circuit, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got. Yeah.
So we have to bypass that current, not towards the IC. If it will flow into the IC, the current will flow into the IC, means what will happen? Are you able to perform any operation? Are you able to collect the voltage from the output of the IC? If the current will bypass to the IC. You are not supplying current to the op-amp. You have to bypass the current because you have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
get a control voltage. Okay, wait, now you will realize that why I am talking like that. Okay. So here for the ideal op-amp, gain is very high. So we are going for a closed loop op-amp to control the gain. What is the gain of the op-amp at this case? The ideal case, guys, infinite. Okay. Now we are going to control the gain, and with respect to that we will control this output voltage also. So this is the structure of the closed loop op-amp. What are the additional parameter we are going to use in this closed loop by using the inverting, non-inverting and voltage follower configuration? Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So first one, inverting op-amp configuration. Guys, just write inverting op-amp configuration. First configuration, first closed loop configuration is inverting op-amp configuration. I am going to describe you how the gain and what is the gain of the circuit. How do you get the output voltage within the 30 volt limit? That should be our range, no? Our output voltage should be within the limit of the 30 volt. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, what will happen? If the voltage will exceed the limit of 30 volt, then?
Tough to design.
After design, no. General property. That is called as voltage transfer characteristic. It will saturate. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then come. Yeah, draw the circuit exactly like this. Inverting configuration means we have to apply the input voltage to the negative input terminal of operational amplifier while the positive input is fully grounded. Okay. And connect the feedback resistor RF from V0 to negative input side and at the input of this negative input terminal, connect one more external input resistor to protect the circuit as R1. R1 should be like this and RF should be placed at here. So you have to draw like this. Here R1 is the input resistor. Okay. RF is the feedback resistor. So first understand the circuit. This is the inverting op-amp configuration. Now suppose the voltage appears at the positive input terminal of op-amp is VB and the voltage appears at negative input terminal of op-amp is VA. Okay, but externally also we have connected one input voltage source which is V in. Let's analyze the circuit. First thing, V in is at here, V naught we don't know. Okay, so we have a potential appearing at this point. So what should be the direction of flow of current into the circuit? So suppose the current will flow from V in to the V naught side. So that's why at the current is flowing from V in to VA side is I1 through R1 and the current from this VA to V naught is I2 through RF. So here two different current we are getting, I1 from V into VA and from VA to V naught is I2. Just label this like this. Okay. After this, just look at the circuit. Guys, the figure is visible to you, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now just listen to me first. After drawing the circuit, if we have done with the circuit, just imagine, already I told the virtual ground concept. Now whether that point is applicable at here or not. Now VB is directly connected to ground and we know that VB equal to VA. Okay, if VB is 0, by default VA will also be 0. How much the voltage at here? 0 volt. Okay, that is our first point. That is our first point. So just write down by virtual ground VB equal to 0 volt equal to VA. Now let's define the KCL at node A. This is A, no? So let's define this. Okay. So if you define this KCL at node A, what will be the equation? I1 equal to I2 by the KCL. That's why the first point has written at here. If we apply KCL at node A, I1 equal to I2. What is I1? V in minus VA divided by R1, and so VA minus V0 divided by RF. Just now we have revealed that. What is VA, guys? What is VA?
0.
0 volt. Okay, 0. So what will be the next equation? V in by R1 equal to minus of V0 by RF. Okay. So if I want to define my output voltage, V0 equal to minus of RF by R1 into V in. So the gain at here will be defined as minus of RF by R1, which is the gain of the inverting op amp, and output voltage is the combination of gain and input voltage. So suppose if I will place one 10 kilo ohm of resistor for RF and one 1 kilo ohm resistor for R1, what should be the V0? If V in is 1 volt, V0 is how
Minus
much?
10. Minus 10.
Minus of 10 by 1 into 1 volt, right? So V0 is minus of 10 volt. This minus will be like this. Suppose this is our V in, a positive voltage. Okay, sinusoidal voltage we have applied. What should be the V out? It is suppose 1 volt, right? What should be the output?
Yes, ma'am.
Inverted and amplified.
Minus 10 volt means minus represents the 180-degree phase shift. This is the V out. Plus 5 volt to minus 5 volt. Okay. Total range is minus 10 volt. So this negative sign represents the 180-degree phase shift. Okay. Got the idea behind this? Now you just realize if the gain will become infinite, if minus of RF by R1, that is not present in the ideal case, just AOL is infinite. What should be the output voltage? Infinity only. Okay. But now because of the closed loop, you are able to control the which parameter? Yes.
Gain. Gain, ma'am.
Gain, ma'am.
Yes. And because of controlling the gain, what you are controlling?
Output voltage.
Yeah. If you are giving 1 volt, the output is how much?
10 volts.
10. So how much it is useful? How quickly it is amplified the signal? By varying the gain.
10.
Yeah. In this case only it is 10 times. You may take different RF and R1 value, as per that you may amplify your output voltage. Okay, got the idea? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
now the output is changing in the negative direction. Okay, now the output is changing in the negative direction. So if you want, how I have given the input voltage in the negative input terminal, and I defined the gain, and so I got my output is phase shifted. Now the second configuration is non-inverting op amp configuration. At that time I will apply the input at the positive input terminal of op amp, just interchanging the V in, and another terminal will become grounded. So how does it look like? Just have a look. Yeah. Just draw the circuit, guys. This is the second configuration of operational amplifier. Quickly you draw. I'll explain you the circuit. Quickly you draw. Which is called as configuration. If you see, the input is applied at the non-inverting or positive input terminal of op-amp. The negative input terminal is grounded along with the R1 and RF.
Hello.
Who is
Huh?
this? Mute your microphone. My God. Is this the time to attend your class? You better leave the class. Okay, guys. Just have a look upon the circuit. Here we have applied the Vin at the positive input terminal of op-amp, which is called as non-inverting input terminal. Now, first let's understand the circuit first. So let's consider the voltage at the positive input terminal of op-amp at B is Vp, and at the negative input terminal at A is Vn. N represents the negative, P represents the positive. Okay. So externally what we have done, Vin we have applied at Vb. So we can write that Vin equal to Vp. But already we know that by virtual ground concept, what we know that, guys? Vp equal to Vn. Yeah, earlier we have written that Vb equal to Va, right? Yes or no? So the same thing,
Yes.
now Vp is Vin. All together we can write this line, no? Vp is Vin, which is equal to Vn, Vp equal to Vn, and that's so equal to Va. Okay. Now look at the circuit and the feedback path. Now let's see, this input terminal or this side is grounded. Now we have the potential available at the output node is V0. It means this is the higher potential than this potential. And we know the property of the current. Current flows from higher potential to lower potential side. So now the direction of current will become V0 to Va and from Va to ground. So if I will define the KCL again at node A, what should be the equation? I1 equal to I2. Now this one is I1, this is I2. So what is our I1? V0 minus Va by Rf, which is equal to Va minus 0 by R1. Okay. So if we solve this one, how much do we get, guys? Let's solve this one to get the output voltage equation. Let's begin with that. V0 by Rf minus Va. Va is how much now, guys? The next line I'm solving. Va is Vin by Rf, which is equal to Vin by R1. So let's take Vin term to one side. So how much do we get? V0 by, oh my God. 1 minute, guys. V0 by, okay, I'm writing like this. V0 by Rf equal to Vin by R1 plus Vin by Rf. So what is the V0 equation? V0 equal to, I'll take Rf to this side and the simple term is 1 by R1 plus 1 by Rf into Vin. If I will simplify further, this is Rf whole into, yes, Rf plus R1 divided by R1 into Rf into Vin. So here Rf and Rf will get cancel out. So how do I rearrange my V0 equation? It is Rf plus R1 by R1. So I can rewrite the same thing, 1 plus Rf by R1 into Vin. And this is the final output voltage equation for the non-inverting op-amp. Okay. And what is the gain at here? Gain is 1 plus Rf by R1. Okay. So now if I will take same value, RF equal to 10 kilo ohm and R1 equal to 1 kilo. What should be the gain at here?
11.
11.
Sorry, 1 plus, oh yeah, 11.
11 only, correct. It is 1 plus, no, 1 plus 10 equal to
10.
11. So if again I will take V in equal to 1 volt, what is the V naught?
11.
11 volts.
Positive 11 volt, right? Yeah, it is positive. It means there is no phase shift. So if your V in is this much, what should be the V out? It is 11 volt. Okay. It is amplified in the positive direction. Okay, with the positive value. Got it, guys? So here I will say that if this type of configuration is visible to you in this non-inverting amplifier, what is the gain means? Blindly you have to say that for the non-inverting op-amp configuration, the gain equation is 1 plus RF by R1. Similarly, for the inverting op-amp configuration, what is the gain equation is minus of RF by R1. And here the output is phase shifted 180 degree and here there is no phase shift in the output. You have to remember this equation. Then the last configuration is voltage follower configuration. It is very simple. Yeah. So look at this configuration, guys. Voltage follower configuration. Here we may get V naught is equal to V in. Your output follows the input. So if here I'll just write the applied input voltage is V in. Okay. And R1 is RF is sorted, R1 is not there. Okay, it is open only. What is the value of R1 at here? First, you have to identify what configuration does the circuit meet. It is meeting for the inverting configuration or non-inverting configuration. It is matching with which configuration, guys? Guys, the circuit I have shown you in the figure is matching or meeting with which configuration or which closed loop configuration of op-amp?
Non-inverting.
Very good. So just now we learned if it is non-inverting, what is the output voltage equation for that?
1 plus R by R1 into E.
Yes, very good. So that's why the first line has shown right this. Okay. So if you see the circuit, RF is sorted. For the sorted path, what should be the resistance value?
0.
0. That's why RF is 0. And here see R1 is not there. It means it is open. For the open path, what is the resistance value? Infinite. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So R1 is not there. It means it is open. So that R1 value is infinite. So this value we got at here and we will implement this in the basic equation of non-inverting op-amp 1 plus RF by R1 which is 1 plus 0 by infinity. 0 by infinity is how much? 0. Yes. So how much do we get? V naught equal to V in. That's why we have to call this as voltage follower. And why it is unity gain means 1 plus 0 by infinity. This is the gain equation. So 1 plus 0 equal to 1. That's why it is called as unity gain op-amp also. Okay guys, got all these three configuration. And what is the advantage of voltage follower? It will also help to vary the large input resistance of the order of mega ohm. Then it offers the low output impedance. Whatever the things we are getting for the ideal op-amp, it will also help to get the same thing. And another advantage, it will offer a large bandwidth and it can be used as a buffer amplifier because it is conveying the input to the output directly. That's how we can store the data for some instance of time. at here, and that's why it is called a buffer amplifier. Okay. And here also the output follows the input without any phase shift. So these are the three different configuration of operational amplifier. Guys, you got this? All these three configuration?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, guys, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, in between I got disconnected, that's why. Okay guys, so all the three different